underneath. And then in between the nephew's feet is that Bentwood box, or the box of knowledge that Thomas was talking about. And he's using the lid to hold up the elders. And then you have the raven on the left and the eagle on the right. And at the bottom there's two children there, a boy and a girl. And the idea is they're carrying on the weight of the traditions of the ancestors. So it's up to us to carry on the traditions, and the children carry the weight of our future.
Neat symbol.
So like with the other home, ground level would be where this line of beams are, so most of this would be under the ground. You'll notice that the notch ladder is not in this particular home for the Olympic home. So like, for example, on Kodiak Island, they do have trees there, so they could be a little bit more picky with the wood that they would use to make their homes. And the doorway that we came through, that would actually be a lot lower, and it would zigzag left to right, and it would be just big enough for people to get through because they have to watch out for the Kodiak brown bear. Like with the other house, we have the outlet for the smoke hole there, and that seal intestine. In case you missed it at your house and you're being contacted. So they'll take the seal intestine, they blow it up like a balloon, and then you cut it up into strips, and when it's fresh, it's a waterproof material. So you would take the two pieces, you overlap them a little bit, and the waterproof stitching, you would have a line of sewing going here. Is out here, so when you throw your spear or your dart, it just gives it a lot more power. It's called a throwing board. And so this is traditionally made out of driftwood. So he's going to wear this on top of his head. And as a young boy was about maybe between the ages of 10 to 12, he's got a really short one with really basic designs, or maybe not too much paint. And then as he graduated and became more of a successful hunter, he'd get a longer visor, and they'd decorate it more elaborately. So that's what the women would look for, was the hunter with the big visor. And then you'd also have on the inside of your driftwood hat here, there's a beam that goes down the middle. So a hunter will use this like a gun sight. So when he's sitting in his kayak, he uses that like a reference point when he's getting ready to throw his weapon at his target. By Naviga. And so depending on your storytelling or your dancing that you're doing, the composer will make a mask, or they'll be asked by someone to do it. And then there's two ways that you can wear that. There's a piece on the opposite side that you would bite on, and then that way you wouldn't have to wear a strap, or if you didn't have the biting piece, you would have a strap made for it so that you could wear it. Here is its final resting place. What you have are the spinal column, you have the rib cage, the shoulder blades, and that's the skull of that 42. Use that as like a paste, because the yarrow is supposed to have a natural clogging agent in it. Or if you were having some, if a woman was on her menstrual cycle, we would have them drink the yarrow tea to help ease some of those things. This is called the man cave, or the men's house. And then these smaller ones are called the or the women's homes, and so there'd be a bunch of them around the men's house. So when the kids were about 7, 8 years old, during the daytime, we would separate the boys from the girls, and they'd basically be going to school. So in the smaller ones, you'd have the girls, the moms, the aunts, learning how to cook and how to sew. And then the big one here, we'd have the boys learning from their dads. Quick groups, very similar to what you would see in some of the other homes. Again, ground level is going to be where this line of beams are. And so most of this would be under the ground. So this gives you a pretty good idea of the semi-subterranean dwelling. The summer entrance that we came through, that doorway would be a lot lower. You'd make it so that you'd have to bend down to walk through, and that's to trap the heat inside the building. And then in the winter time, as it got cooler toward the fall and the winter, we would seal that off. And then what we call the porch out there, there would be an opening out there in the porch to where you would crawl under the floorboards and you'd come in through the fire pit. You just wouldn't have the fire going. So, and you would pour water on the heated rocks, and we'd have a steam bath going in here. So that's one of the purposes of that particular opening there. They turn it into an old Ziploc bag to store their foods in that they put under the ground and store it in a food cellar, per se. So you have your permafrost that's under the ground. You dig down about 2 to 3, 4 feet, and you have your permafrost. So you could use this like a Ziploc bag, or you fill this up with air and you use it like a buoy. So at the other end of your rope, you'd have a really long rope here, and then you would use your toggle head harpoon to capture your seal or your walrus, and this will help to track it in the water. So you use the seal skin float to track the animal that they're going after. This is called a food cache, and we still use these today out in rural Alaska. You'll still find these. We've got them in my village. But if we go back to our finger map again, we go to the interior for the Athabascan people. The Athabascans have 11 different languages, 21, 22 different dialects, and that's just in Alaska. So you've got different ways that they handle their food cache. Another way of having a food cache around is to have it further back in the woods and kind of hidden away from, so then that way they wouldn't get raided. But in here you'd have your dried moose, caribou, fish, kind of making a jerky out of your dried meats. We average in about 5'3" to 5'6" or 7", so it varies. It seems like what's considered the Athabascan Indians and the Southeast people, they do have people that were fairly tall, like growing over 6 feet.
See a lot of big stuff.
Fish wheel here, so these get 7 to 8 feet high, another 4 to 5 feet wide. So this is a scaled down version. They get quite a bit bigger than this. But what they'll do is they put it down in the river, right next to the riverbank, and the current will spin this around, and it catches fish. So this spins around and it catches fish. The river current does that, and the fish will get caught. They go down this chute right into that bin. So once this fills up and they get their quota, they'll take a stick and they'll put it in there, and they cut up the fish and they consume it. They get low on fish, they take the stick out, and there's a current spins around and it catches more fish. It's called an Athabascan fish wheel.